Saints red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
So it is this crew that has ejected Joe on each of the 2 occasions this season that he has been tossed out of a ball game. Including recently when the Milwaukee Brewers were at Fenway. An 0-2 base hit. A bullet in the left for Roberto Kelly. The lead man is on for New York in the bottom of the first.
Offensively and defensively, not much room now for the Red Sox to be making any kind of mistakes, and certainly an 0-2 pitch at this point and to this man is a definite mistake. Kelly with a great deal of speed. You throw him a walk or a single, it's almost like doubling him up. 38 stolen bases on the year, caught just 14 times.
Now Steve Sachs. He's had an off year at the plate, batting just .255 with 3 homers and 37 RBI. Those 38 stolen bases have Roberto Kelly second in the American League, behind only Rickey Henderson in his 61. And the man at the plate is third. Sachs has 37 steals. Steve takes a strike.
Henderson just 6 bases away from tying the all-time record, 7 to break it. Wonder if you were La Russa, would you be less? I would be less interested in the record and keeping Rickey healthy. Well, he rarely seems to be injured stealing the number of bases he's stolen over, except for the 1 year when he had strawberries up and down both hips, when he stole well over 100 bases.
I don't think there's any rush to keep Rickey in there if he's not healthy, because he's going to break that record sooner or later.
Sooner or later.
Kelly takes off, and Pena couldn't come up with the ball. He threw it anyway. Tony probably should have just held on to it after dropping the ball. Stolen base number 39 for Roberto Kelly.
Pretty good jump by Kelly, and Pena didn't look like he had to dig it out, just maybe an attempt to rush a bit more to get rid of it. Didn't handle it cleanly, and stolen base is there.
Kelly at second, nobody out, bottom of the first, no score. Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Sachs tries to bunt him to third. It's foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Red Sox held a team meeting before the game tonight at 5:40, as they do before every series, to talk about the opposition, go over the scouting reports. I asked Joe Morgan if other matters beyond the Yankees would be discussed, namely the goings-on involving the Red Sox lately. He said not unless the players want to bring it up. And the meeting only lasted 20 minutes. Joe didn't have much to say when it was through, but there were some unconfirmed reports that a couple of players wanted to say a word or two before the game. Back to the mound. Kicker caught it on a hop. He looked Kelly back and threw Sachs out. So Roberto's still at second now with 1 out.
"20 minutes is usually about the amount of time it takes to go over an opposing ball club. I don't know that they would have taken them quite that long today. They played the Yankees not too terribly long ago.
Well, I asked Joe when he emerged from the clubhouse, said it was only 20 minutes. Is it safe to say that it was mostly about the Yankees? He said, yes, it would be safe to say that.
So you said it, and you said it safely, right?
Yes. Whether it's accurate or not remains to be seen, since we were not in the room. Don Mattingly right at Jody Reed with the bounding ball. 2 outs, and Kelly to third. Mattingly has fared quite well since coming off the disabled list on Tuesday. He's now 5 for 12. Having been retired on the bouncing ball to second. Kicker trying to get out of it as he works to Kevin Maas. Maas 240, but with 19 home runs and 35 RBI. 19 home runs, the most by a rookie in the American League this year, and the 6th most by a rookie in Yankee history. And he's been on a home run tear of late, 3 home runs in his last 7 games.
Quietened down for a while after he went on that very hot. What he did, he just simply brought too much attention to himself too quickly. This pitcher starts to, oh, wait a minute here. Made too many headlines with the number of home runs he was hitting. And what happens when you are playing other ball clubs, pitchers get together and talk to pitchers and they say, wait a minute, what kind of pitches is this guy hitting and how's he going about attacking you? And take long for it to get out. And lately, I understand most pitchers are really trying to crowd the left-hand hitter.
Good off-speed pitch, 2-1.
Talking to Darrell Evans, the batting instructor for the New York Yankees, he said he's been very impressed with the way that Maas has been able to make some of the adjustments. Guys have crowded him a bit, and he's become, well, he was quite patient when he came here. Had pretty good command of the strike zone to start with. But by cleaning 1 or 2 of those pitches out that haven't been in quite far enough, then that drives the pitcher back to another error on occasion. And by being able to do that, you can kind of put some doubt into a guy's mind as to whether that is the place to get you out, especially when a run is on the line, as it is here now, runner in scoring position.
Kelly at third, 2 outs. In the bottom of the first, no score. The 2-2 pitch. Maas thought about it, but held up. The count is full. Jesse Barfield is on deck. Kevin Maas set the major league record for fewest at-bats to reach 10 home runs. He reached 10 home runs in just 77 at-bats. George Scott held that record previously. He had 10 home runs in 79 at-bats for the Red Sox in 66. That's strike 3. Jesse Barfield begins the New York second. No score in the ball game. Jesse brings a .248 batting average into tonight's affair. 24 home runs, 71 RBI. He'll be followed by Hensley Mullins, Jim Leyritz. A little crowded in the photographer area. Barfield's hot. Over his last 15 games, he's at .348 with 4 home runs. A ball low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. He leads the Yankees in homers, RBI, and walks.
The only one that does walk, as I mentioned a moment ago.
That's a bad combination when you are last in walks and last in team batting average, as the Yankees are at .241 coming into tonight. That adds up to being last in your division.
Yes. Remember, too, Mattingly has been out of that lineup most of the year. And he certainly is a base on ball taker. On the other side of that with Barfield, though, you have to remember when you walk as much as Jesse does, and he's one of the batters in the American League that see the most pitches per at-bat. He's a bit over 4 pitches per at-bat when he goes up there. That leads to a lot of strikeouts. And he has struck out 135 times this year.
Popped up. Rivera, looking at the stands, makes the catch. In foul territory, 1 out in the second, no score. You would imagine that Barfield sees a lot of bad pitches, too, because the rest of the lineup around him, particularly with Mattingly out of there, isn't very intimidating.
There's no question about that.
Now the man they call Bam Bam, Hensley Mullins. Ball 1. Mullins at .243, 2 homers, 5 RBI. He's played in 12 games now for the Yankees. He was called up from Columbus on September 9th. The Toronto Blue Jays hosting the Cleveland Indians tonight at the start of that series. No score in the top of the third at the Sky Dome. John Farrell coming back from an elbow problem, and David Wells are the starting pitchers in that one. No score in the third. The Blue Jays begin the night with a 1-game lead over the Boston Red Sox. Well hit to center, but Burks is there to play it on the line. 2 outs in the second.
26 home runs for Mullins this year in the International League. Go along with a .285 batting average. Darrell Evans telling me he's got plenty of power to hit that ball over that 385-foot mark in right center field here at Yankee Stadium. Good quick bat, good quick hands all around.
Now Jim Leyritz hitting .262 with 5 homers and 23 RBI. Strike one. Leyritz, as Monty mentioned, hasn't caught very often this year. Tonight his 10th game back at the plate. The Yankees are 4-5 in his previous 9 starts as catcher. Most of his action has come at third base. He's played 65 games there, 6 times in the left, 1 game in the right. He was called up on June 8th. One ball and 2 strikes to count.
Well, just a couple of days after Stump Merrill was named the Yankee manager, kind of brought Leyritz right along with him. Quite impressed with his actions at Columbus, where he managed him. Some of the Yankee pitchers have been moaning a little bit the last couple of days about Leyritz being behind the plate, and he's not accustomed to what they're trying to do. And this time of the year, it's been a little bit aggravating for a couple of them, and I think even Cary complained about it earlier in the start.
You've got confidence that nothing's going to beat you. Power Stick. The antiperspirant so effective, you get 24-hour odor and wetness protection in just one wide stroke. 24-hour protection in just one stroke. Nothing's going to beat you. Power Stick from Fabergé.
I pay some bills. My yacht bill, my Mercedes bill, my Learjet bill.
I'd give it all to my boyfriend and then marry him for his money.
I'd be chauffeured around in a stretch pickup truck.
I'd do so much traveling, my passport would have jet lag.
Twice a week, someone could win millions of dollars.
I'd have a hairline.
New York Lotto. All you need is $1 and a dream.
Your post office delivery truck is also a pickup truck because Express Mail has pickup service. Call us and we'll pick up as many packages as you have, all for one low price of $4. You're guaranteed next morning delivery with Express Mail service at the lowest cost anywhere, just $8.75. So call 1-800-333-8777 and we'll be over to pick up your overnight packages for you.
We're your postal service. We deliver for you.
That's kicker. Okay. Dana Kicker. We got the official pronunciation guide.
All right.
Boston Red Sox, Dana Kicker. Top of the third inning here at the stadium, and that gives you a look at the standings. Just think that a couple of weeks ago, Boston was 6.5 games ahead. Now a game behind. 1 game in that loss column.
Do they play each other, Steve, anymore this year?
Well, the Red Sox have 12 games left. 8 at home, 4 on the road. 3 here against the Yankees, 1 in Detroit. And they have 8 at home, 3 against Toronto.
At home or in Fenway?
In Fenway. 2 against the Cleveland Indians, and then 3 against Toronto and 3 against the Chicago White Sox.
And they've given Boston trouble all year, haven't they?
That's exactly right. So Toronto and Boston, a 3-game series up in Boston.
Wow.
The Toronto Blue Jays have 12 games left, 3 at home and 9 on the road. But they're about even home and away. They've been playing better at home as of late, the last half of the season.
That's right. Early on, they couldn't win at home, and they'd win on the road.
They have a 3-game series starting tonight against the hot Cleveland Indians up there in Toronto. To right field by Tony Pena, right at Jesse Barfield. 1 gone here in the top of the third. And then they go on the road And Toronto has 3 in Milwaukee. They've got the 3-game set in Boston and 3 in Baltimore.
Be a lot of nervous ball players these last 2 weeks. Luis Rivera hitting only .228, but 7 homers and 42 runs batted.
Chuck Cary's last start in Detroit. Well, he was pitching beautifully too in his last start. And we were talking about it earlier, literally got knocked out. He pitched 4 innings in Detroit and had 8 strikeouts, just a walk. Gave up a couple of runs on 4 hits. Took the loss in that ball game 5-2, but was really throwing extremely well. And it was right at the end of the 4th inning. A little pop-up over in front of the Yankee dugout, and he got bowled over by Steve Balboni. Snapped his neck and sent him flying. They had to take him to the hospital. He had a headache for a couple of days, but he said, nope, I'm not going to miss any starts.
Well, I tell you, he's got a good off-speed pitch. A quick slider and then a big one that drops down. Yeah, Balboni ran in. Hey, Steve, you know, you're not allowed to drive into that parking lot and park just any place, you know.
I'm not, eh?
No way. You've got to be very careful with you. You can't take somebody's spot. Very upsetting.
I would never think of doing that.
I just got word from the lieutenant down in the parking lot.
The lieutenant? Are you sure it wasn't the lieutenant colonel or something, maybe? Maybe how about a 3-star general?
It might have been.
And he's on his way up here with a machine gun, right? I sent my keys down with Anthony. They're going to move my car.
Okay.
You could tell it was pennant fever when you got there. How come you got a parking spot? You got here after I did.
Yes, I know, but
You've been here for 50 years. Priority, right?
That's right.
You're pulling rank. I got you. No balls and 2 strikes to Jody Reed. Up and away, and 1-2. Reed, a strikeout victim in the first. Chuck Cary has struck out 4, and we are just in the 3rd inning here. Check swing, nail appeal, no, says John Hirschbeck at first.
That was a good try by Leyritz. He went over and tagged the batter. Watch this.
This is Leyritz's 10th start as a catcher for the Yanks. Down the left field line, that'll be a foul ball. And well, Jimmy's been in there. The Yanks have had an earned run average of 3.27, so
not bad. And he looks the most comfortable behind the plate rather than left field or third base.
Yeah, the question is, how is he going to be able to throw? That's the biggest thing. New supply of baseballs to Al Clark, home plate umpire. Hirschbeck at first, John Hirschbeck, Larry McCoy at second, and Davey Phillips. The umpires working this series. They worked the ball game last night between the Indians and the Yanks. The Red Sox were off last night.
And so was Toronto, right?
Toronto was off. Just a couple of games last night. The Yanks played, and the Mariners and the White Sox played. Short schedule last night in the American League. Right center, will Jesse get there? No, he won't. A 2-out single for Jody Reed. So Boston gets a base runner with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd. Just the 3rd hit in the ball game and the 2nd for Boston. Chuck Cary, a record of 5-10, looking for victory number 6. Last 5 times to the mound, Chuck Cary has had 2 losses and 3 no decisions. Checks Reed at first. Reed has stolen 4 and thrown out a couple of times. Boston not a running club at all. Ellis Burks might run a little bit. Boston is going to beat you with their bat. They're not going to beat you with speed. Carlos Quintana struck out his first time up. Leads the American League in hitting. As a team, they're hitting .273. You go down to the bottom of the list, the Yankees are last. They're hitting .241. Wow. Wow is right. But as we said, Boston last in stolen bases. When you look at the stolen base column, the Boston Red Sox as a team have stolen 47 bases. 47 bases.
That's the whole team.
And struck out, caught stealing 44 times.
Oh, that is a bad average. No wonder poor Joe Morgan is kind of handcuffed there.
Now, Milwaukee has stolen 159 bases. They lead the American League. The Red Sox have stolen 47. How many does Ricky have now? 61.
61.
A couple of different styles of teams, isn't it?
Yep. Well, the Yankees, Kelly has 39 and Sachs has 37.
3-1 to Quintana, lifted lazily to Roberto Kelly in center field. So the Red Sox are gone here in the top of the 3rd. They get a base hit and leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 3rd here at Yankee Stadium between the Red Sox and the Yankees, and still no score.
For 28 years, John Lawyer has been to every Yankee home game and hasn't seen one yet. John parks the cars across from the stadium. But John can tell you who's ripping the seams off the ball and who can't buy a hit. From where John sits, he can't smell the grass or watch a squeeze play. But thanks to the Daily News, John hasn't missed a game in 28 years. The Daily News, New York's hometown paper.
Your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer's factory authorized clearance is back, and it's better than ever.
Come on in, see for yourself.
During clearance time, you can get great deals on every new Ford in stock. Save over $1,000 on Aerostar and thousands on F-Series Ranger and Bronco. You'll even save on the all-new Ford Explorer. Get your Ford dealer's factory authorized clearance.
See your Ford dealer, see for yourself.
Hurry, this clearance ends soon. Great comeback.
Remember how I like my eggs?
You remember how I hate your guts?
Great one-liner.
You maggots.
What to say? How to say it. What to do. How to do it. Collect them. Save them. Trade them with your friends.
Fatheads like you.
Pretend you made them up. Growing Pains. The Hogan Family. Get them on Channel 11. Monday starting at 7.
Puss face.
Nice crowd here at the stadium tonight, Friday night. First of this 3-game series between the Yanks and the Red Sox.
It looks like Ted Turner there now. See?
Or Wade Boggs look-alike maybe in there with gray hair.
Neil Gillen, friend of Joe Bennett's down in our control room.
Randy Velarde leads it off for the Yanks. Velarde hitting .213, 3 home runs and 14 RBIs. It'll be Velarde, Espinosa, Kelly. 8, 9, and 1 for the Yanks here in the bottom of the 3rd. Scooter, it's just a dragonfly. It's not going to hurt you. It's just a dragonfly. It's on Willie's shoe over there. On Willie's pants. It's all right. Just misses, and it's 2 balls and a strike. It's a dragonfly. There's nothing wrong with it, Scooter. We're having a minor crisis here at the WPIX New York Yankees studio. Scooter is gone. There's a dragonfly that has flown into our booth. And Mr. Rizzuto is not crazy about bugs. He hates bugs more than he hates pitchers. Three and 2 to Randy Velarde. What'd you think of that pitch, Scooter? You liked it, huh? Check swing, foul ball, and it'll stay 3 and 2. If you think I'm kidding you, Scooter is not to be found. I'm serious. There he goes. He's gone. He went over there. There he goes. He's gone. He's gone, honest. I know you don't like him, but don't look inside your Cracker Jacks box. A big hop for Boggs. Over to Quintana, and 1 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd.
That had to be the ugliest bug I ever saw. Oh, come on.
Alvaro Espinosa. With 1 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd. Espy hitting .222. 2 home runs and 18 RBIs. The Yanks are 2-8 against the Boston Red Sox. Swept up at Fenway and played very, very poorly. Scooter does not like bugs, I'm telling you. I mean, what is that movie? Arachnophobia? Well, Scooter's got arachnophobia for dragonflies. It's not even a spider. Another nice play by a kicker on the mound, and 2 gone here in the bottom of the 3rd. I won't do it anymore, I promise. I'm sure, and I promise. I give you my Irish word. A sinker right back up the middle. Really pretty good hitting by Alvaro Espinosa. With a sinker, trying to hit it right back up the middle, but just hit the top half of the ball, and a 1-hopper right back to kicker. High and deep to right field. Don Bernansky right there, and another 1-2-3 inning for Dana Kicker. And on the Citgo scoreboard, at the end of 3 here at the stadium, Red Sox and the Yankees, no score.
Yankee fans have been the most loyal in all of sports, and this year's been no exception. So on Saturday, September 22nd, the Yanks say thanks to the greatest fans in the world on Fan Appreciation Day. All fans attending the 12:20 game against the Red Sox will take home a Yankee team photo mug, compliments of Banquet Fried Chicken. It's your day, Fan Appreciation Day, Saturday, September 22nd at 12:20. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, everybody. Let's take a quick look at the scoreboard while we have a minute or two. Of course, the Red Sox in the middle of that pennant chase with the Toronto Blue Jays. And at the Sky Dome, Cleveland leads Toronto 1-0, now in the 3rd inning. Also on the scoreboard, the Mets lost this afternoon to the Cubs, the final 4-3. Brian Sandberg's sacrifice fly was a decider in that one. And the Pirates tonight scoreless with the St. Louis Cardinals in the 4th inning. That updates you on the scoreboard. And we're very pleased to have with us, joining us for this half inning, Robert Nederlander, the man who is now the managing general partner of the New York Yankees. Mr. Nederlander, great to have you with us.
Very nice to be here. Thank you for asking me.
The Scooter, you missed it. He was in rare form tonight.
Well, he's always in rare form. He's one of the great Yankees, you know. And is there any possibility of you coming back in the event we run short?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. But it's really good to see and have you here. And everybody's excited as to what's going to happen. And if we're only half as successful as you and your family have been in the theater business, we'll be back on top again.
Well, I can only tell you this: with your help and advice, and I've been listening to you a long, long time. You get a lot of pointers. I don't think the fans know how very fortunate they are that you're giving them all this inside information on the way baseball should be played.
Yeah, but nobody listens to me.
Oh, everybody listens to you. You're one of the great Yankees.
There have been a lot of them, that's for sure.
You sure have. From DiMaggio, Rizzuto.
I saw you give him the money to say that at the beginning of the inning. That was pretty good.
Oh, I got to tell you something. No, in all seriousness, he is. Listen, he's very cogent. He certainly knows the game. There's no one that knows it better. And when you talk about Mr. New York Yankee, you're talking about you too.
Well, I appreciate that because they have been my life. Outside of my family, the Yankees have been my life.
Well,
are you going to spend more time in the Big Apple?
Well, I'm going to spend as much time as I can because, as you know, as you've said to me over the air and as you said to others, we want the Yankees to win the pennant, and we're going to do everything we can to bring the pennant back to New York.
Oh, but I said that's good news to Yankee fans. You know how loyal they are. It's unbelievable that last night they had that rally. You'd think they had a chance to win the pennant.
I have to tell you, with names like Mantle and DiMaggio and Gehrig and Ruth and the great tradition of the Yankees, we've got to bring a pennant back to New York.
Absolutely.
And it's really important. I think with these group of young people out there, along with the appropriate veterans, I think we got to have a real good chance next year.
You're excited about this opportunity.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity, and I think there's a great bunch of people here, people like George Bradley and Stick Michael, who know the game, very intelligent, watch all the games, and really are very knowledgeable. And I think with a lot of reliance on them, I think we're going to do really well next year.
You indicated when you were approved at the owners' meeting that your style is more or less hands-off management. Would you describe how you envision your operation with the Yankees?
Well, I think we have some great baseball people. And I believe that when you have good baseball people, you've got to listen to what they say. And it isn't that I don't have my own opinions, but I'd rather rely on people that have been in the game a long time as a scout, as a player, as a manager, as a former general manager, and a person who I have a lot of respect for and have a lot of confidence in. And I think that's something we have to do in order to bring a winner back to New York.
Ellis Burks walks with one out here in the top of the 4th inning. No score. The Yankees and the Red Sox. The Red Sox, no runs, 2 hits. The Yankees, no runs, 1 hit. We're visiting with Robert Nederlander, the new managing partner of the New York Yankees.
Well, you know, it has happened to other clubs where they have had, like Baltimore had that terrible year. Next year they came back and almost won their division.
Well, I think, as you have said before, if you could be injury-free and your players have pretty good years, and whoever knows in advance, you got a chance. If some of your young people come through, and I'm sure you've seen it over the years happen.
Yep. I said this Greenwell has really come alive at the end of the year here.
Now, after hitting down in the low 200s, in fact, he was the subject of a lot of trade talk early in the year. He now is hitting 16 of his last 24 and has been hitting over 300 for the better part of the last month. His average up to 288. He has 2 hits today, and that brings up Dwight Evans, who has been trouble for the Yankees over the years and one of the best clutch hitters in all of baseball. He struck out his first time up, and you know that Evans, of course, has had the back difficulties. 2 on, 1 out. When you look at this team and you talk with Stick Michael and George Bradley and Stump Merrill, do you have a game plan in terms of Sparky Anderson? Remember, had the 5-year plan when he took over with Detroit?
Well, it's hard to predict the number of years, but I would say this, that they're very confident that in the short run, with using younger players, and that's why you see a lot of young players playing, mixed in with people like Mattingly, who is certainly one of the great Yankees, that they're, I don't think we're talking about 5 years. I think we're talking about a much shorter time. And I know the fans are probably a little disturbed because the younger players do make mistakes, but that's how they learn. And hopefully with this next season, with this mix, we're going to do very well.
That's exactly what Gene Michael has said. He says, we're not going to wait for 5 years. He said, they can turn it around in a couple of years.
I think back in the 70s, Sparky could get away with a 5-year plan. Now nobody would dare say 5 years, right? 2 balls and 1 strike to Dewey Evans. Burks on second, Greenwell on first. The Yankees at double play depth, and Velarde back 2 steps at third. Count evens at 2-2. This has not been an easy year. It's been a turbulent year for the Yankees on the field and off the field. And when you look back on George Steinbrenner and what he did for the Yankee franchise and what has transpired this year, I know he must have some mixed emotions.
Well, George, over the years, as you know, was able to bring the Yankees to a plateau where they won more ball games than ever before. I think that they had the best record in the league. And I think what we have to do now is to look forward to a great season next year, and what we have to do is to try and get baseball on the front page as opposed to any kind of other controversy.
Good play by Velarde, Scooter.
That was hit like a bullet. Had he not been alert, had been down the line for a double.
For those of you just joining us, Mike Blowers, who left the game last night with a jammed wrist, right wrist, as he dove back into second base as Bernansky steps in and pops it straight up. Blowers will be out for at least a few days, and Velarde's playing third. So Cary gets out of trouble as Mattingly gets the foul pop outside of the first baseline, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees nothing and the Red Sox nothing.
It's the biggest car Volkswagen ever made and the biggest offer Volkswagen ever made. For only $248 a month, lease the new Passat GL for 3 years. It's loaded. Automatic transmission, air conditioning, power steering, power brakes, and more. If within 30 days or 3,000 miles you're not completely satisfied, the Passat Satisfaction Guarantee lets you return it for a full refund. This offer ends October 31st. Go for it.
Weller. Oh, geez, RoboCop!
It's here. It's now. It's not just any talk show. It's my talk show.
Hello, America.
Nice set. A studio audience and a real guest star, Peter Weller.
RoboCop for people. Good
My talk show.
Hey, excuse me.
Discover it before everyone else does.
Mr. RoboCop, you ain't no Terminator, pal. You know?
My talk show premieres Monday night at 11:30 on Channel 11.
Roger Moore, a psychiatrist who knows his patient's secrets. And one of them is deadly. The Tightrope of Terror, where silence is a prescription for murder. From Sidney Sheldon's best-selling novel, Art Carney, Rod Steiger, Elliot Gould, Roger Moore. The Naked Face.
Saturday night at 8 on Channel 11.
Back at Yankee Stadium, we'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Sachs, Mattingly, and Maas due up for the Yankees. Against Dana Kicker, the Yankees no runs on 1 hit. The Red Sox no runs on 3 hits. A reminder, the Yankees home again against the Red Sox Saturday and Sunday. And for those of you planning to come tomorrow, remember, the Saturday game has been moved up. It's now a 12:15 start. It's an early start. And the Sunday game remains at its normal time. Sachs, first time up, bounced back to the pitcher after Kelly had singled and stole second. We continue to visit with Robert Nederlander. And Mr. Nederlander, you come, of course, from the theater industry, and I know it's competitive, and I know it's very similar to this industry, and it's what have you done for us lately? You've got to do it up front, right?
Well, this is no different than the live theater business or television or what have you. You need stars, and we have some stars. Don Mattingly is a star, and if you talk to people around the country or to other major league owners, they want to know how he's coming along. And you must realize that all the owners want the stars in the game because they bring people into the park. And we really have a star in Don Mattingly. He's a superb player, defensive and offensive.
And sitting in the on-deck circle is number 23, Don Mattingly, who's back at first base tonight. And I know you're at the ballpark tonight for the first time since taking over, and it's nice to see him back at first also.
It's awful nice to be here, and I can see that he's going to be out there trying all the time. He is a hard worker.
And Mr. Nederlander, we got a real serious problem to work on for next spring, and that is to really settle Scooter's role as a spring training coordinator.
They're just agitating now. I have to tell you, everybody should be in as good shape as he is. He looks slim and vigorous, and as I told him before, if he's looking for a job on the field, we need an infielder here and there as an occasional helper.
There you go, Scooter.
But nothing I'd love better. The old legs won't handle it, though.
He's the best punter in the country.
He still is.
He still is.
Nobody wants to learn, though.
Well, it's a hard profession.
You grew up as what kind of a fan? Indian fan?
No, as a Detroit Tiger fan. I was born in Detroit, and I remember the old series of when Hank Greenberg and Joe DiMaggio and all those great players came in.
Base hit up the middle by Don Mattingly, and the Yankees have one on with one out here in the fourth inning.
That's got to really make him feel good, especially getting back. Remember, he had that doubt as to whether he could come back. And had he gone all winter without playing pinch hitting and playing in these games, he would have. Now I think he's got to feel 100% better. Beautiful swing. He's still got it.
That'll bring up Maas. Kevin struck out back in the first inning. Mattingly on first. It's a scoreless game. We're in the bottom of the third inning.
Here's a kid that could be a big star here at Yankee Stadium.
He's got that home run swing just like Hank Greenberg used to have.
Well, you know, it's this is a perfect place for someone like Kevin Maas. He certainly has a beautiful swing. Stick Michael is very high on him, and believes that he's going to be one of the real stars.
Mattingly leads off first. Takes the sign from Buck Showalter. Delivery is just a little bit outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Did you go to the ballpark a lot when you were growing up?
Used to go to Tiger Stadium all the time and watch Williams, DiMaggio. I saw the 1941 All-Star game when Ted Williams hit that home run.
Well, I was there too. It was my rookie year, and the Yankees were playing the next day, and I was sitting in the stands. And Williams must have jumped 10 feet high when he hit it.
I saw that.
Yeah, hit up unbelievable.
One of the greatest things I ever saw.
Yep. Tiger Stadium is a great stadium, just like Yankee Stadium. A lot of tradition, history, and great to watch a game and to play there.
2 balls, 1 strike to Maas as Mattingly leads off first. Line drive, right at Reed, and Mattingly gets back. There's 2 away. Sounded like a broken bat, Scooter.
Yeah, hit it right on the end.
That'll bring up Jesse Barfield. And certainly since coming back in the lineup Mr. Nederlander. He has provided an offensive spark for the Yankees in this last month or so.
I just love to watch him in the outfield when he stops that runner going from first to second or from first to third on a single. Boy, he's just marvelous to watch, and it's really unfortunate, I think, that the newspapers don't play that up because he's one of the great defensive outfielders.
Oh, there's none better. They'd rather write something about how many times he strikes out than how well he plays the outfield. He makes it look easy.
I know, and I came from the major league meetings last week, and you know how you discuss things with fellow owners and so forth. And they talked about Barfield and what a perfect defensive outfielder he is. And he's a great addition to the Yankees.
If we were to just pick a figure and say you were to be the managing general partner for 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, when that tenure was up, what would you like the review of that tenure to read in terms of your stewardship of the Yankees?
Well, that we developed young players who went on to be stars. We had stable management. The people that worked here and played here had a good time, and that they felt that this was an important part of their life. That's important to me, because you're only as good as the people that work with you all the time. And I think that's important.
Very well. Very well said.
Bravo. 3 balls and 1 strike to Jesse Barfield. He takes a long look at Buck Showalter now. The Yankees have Mattingly on first. He's single to center. 2 outs. And Barfield with his 24 home runs at the plate. It's a scoreless game, Yankees and the Red Sox. Outside, ball 4. And the Yankees have 2 on for Hensley Mullins. Mullins hit a ball hard his last time up, Scooter.
Oh, a bullet. 3-0 pitch. He hit it dead center field. Here's a kid that's really improved each year.
Seems to have a lot of patience, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Joe Morgan will come out and have a chat with his pitcher, Dana Kicker.
You know, Mr. Nederlander said something there, George, when he was talking about you're only as good as the people that work for you and do the job. And they had quite a story about Johnny Keane, poor Johnny Keane, who made that same statement. It was the year that he and Yogi traded spots.
Manager.
And then both were eventually fired, but he ended up winning the pennant and the World Series that year. And when they asked him about it, he said, how many games do you think a manager can win with his brains? And he said, it's the players out there and the men, the coaches, and everybody connected with the organization. I thought that was great. It's exactly what Mr. Nederlander said.
Well, I think if you're a player or you're a manager, you need peace of mind. And as hard as it is with the media and the problems you go through every day and the slumps and so forth. So what we'll try and do is give them as much support as we can from the officer.
Scooter mentioned Yogi.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Yogi back at Yankee Stadium?
Who wouldn't like to see Yogi back?
That's right.
He's a great Yankee and a fine gentleman and someone who the fans have adored over the years. So he's he is one of the great New York Yankees.
There's nobody that doesn't like Yogi. I mean, he's like a little cuddly teddy bear.
Will you make an effort to try to get him back inside the ballpark again?
We'd love to have him come back.
Mullins hits it hard. Boggs does a good job picking, and the throw to second is in time. They talk about Wade Boggs hitting, but he comes up with a gem right there to snuff out the Yankee rally. Robert Nederlander, thanks for stopping by, and best of luck to you.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for having me.
We'll be back. This play by Boggs saves a run for the Boston Red Sox. We'll go to the 5th inning at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees nothing, the Red Sox nothing.
You know, there was a time when taking care of your car was a...
Hey, the Hogan family. Get them Monday starting at 7.
Wade Boggs is striving to get his 200-hit season again, and one of the things that he never gets enough credit for is how hard he works at his defense. He takes more ground balls than any other third baseman in the American League, and this one pays off, Scooter. Good hands.
I mean, he hit poor Mullins. But if you got to watch Mullins, he is so disappointed. He hit a bullet, and you saw how nicely Boggs played it and brought that hand back, soft hands, instead of jabbing for it. He would have caught it. All right, we go to the top of the 5th. Red Sox, you can tell, are very tight. They know they need a win here. And the Yankees, though they don't need a win, would like to have one. Pena lined to right field his first time up.
Tony Pena's taken a lot of heat for his comments the other night after a ball game where he ran through the Red Sox locker room at home saying that we're a bunch of quitters. Let's get together.
Yeah.
If you guys want to win, you got to start turning things on. And
he threw a couple of chairs and things around. And
the criticism by the media was that the tirade came 15 to 20 minutes after the ball game, and that was when the media was in the room. Some of his teammates had said if he's going to do it before they open the door.
Right.
But I know a lot of the members of this club, and I talked to them before the game, and from the read that I got, not many of them really were that upset about it, number one, and number two, put that much stock in it.
Bounce to the third, and Velarde throws him out. One away.
It became something that was certainly handy to talk about when a club was losing.
Yeah. It certainly didn't fire them up the way he thought it might.
Do you remember in your career any time when a talk or an explosion like that really turned a club around?
No, well, see, I was lucky. I never played on a club that had a down mood like that.
How about Casey's bus speech when you were in Cleveland? You lost a couple of games. Casey Stengel got up and ripped everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, he had so much talent there, it was unbelievable. One time when it turned it around, when Yogi, that harmonica incident on the bus with Bill Linz and Yogi, because I was on the bus that time. And I mean, that's the first time Yogi finally exploded. And right after that, they went on a long winning streak.
You find that you were talking about Johnny Keane and Yogi Berra and asking how many games does a manager mean, and this one's popped to the right side. Mattingly drifting near the tarp. Perfect. Finds where the tarp is and then goes together.
Perfect example, boy. A rookie might have run and fell right over the top. Yeah, what were you saying, George?
You were asking how many games does a manager win or lose, and it's not so much in managerial decisions as you watch Mattingly. Look, he'll touch out with the left hand, find the tarp, knows where he is, and then makes the catch. At a time like this, it's so critical for a manager to set the tone for his club. Not whether you put the hit and run on or put a take sign on or whatever, but what kind of an attitude the club has. And with the Red Sox, that's where the pressure is on Joe Morgan.
Right. Well, the press has been rough on Joe up there in the past. That press has been rough on a lot of people, including the great Ted Williams.
Just about everybody.
Yep.
Boston has very aggressive media.
Well, you know, you got to feel sorry for them. I mean, with so many years where they thought they had it. Just like this year could be. 6.5 game lead, and all of a sudden they're 1 game behind.
Jody Reed, base hit in the 3rd inning, stretched his hitting streak to 4. He's 1 for 2. Now, part of it, too, is for the Red Sox, nobody expected them to win when the year began. And then they jumped off to the lead, and now people are accustomed to them being in first place.
Yeah. It's like a roller coaster for the Red Sox fans. Jeffrey Lyons was riding high a couple of weeks ago when they had that 6.5 game. He's really one of the most rabid Red Sox fans I've met.
Tony Pena behind Joe Morgan there.
Uh-oh.
This one hit hard down the line by Reed, but right there is Mullins on the warning track.
Ooh, been trouble in Fenway Park, George.
Reed gave it a run. It would have been probably a double at Fenway off the wall. But here, the Red Sox go down in the 5th. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Red Sox nothing, the Yankees nothing. We're now going to pause for station identification.
This could be your last chance to make the deal of the year. On a 1990 Mazda 626, get a 1990
high-tech or what? The best just got better.
The naked face, Saturday night at 8 on Channel 11.
Time for tonight's trivia question. Both Mark McGwire, 38 home runs, and Jose Canseco, 37, are on the verge of hitting 40 home runs this season. Can you name the last teammates to hit 40 home runs in the same season? The last teammates. We'll have that answer a little bit later on.
All right, Jim Leyritz to lead it off here in the bottom of the fifth. Swing and a miss, strike one. I just saw Cleveland 1, Toronto nothing up there, didn't I?
Yep.
I didn't see the inning, but Cleveland, they've been red hot. I mean, they've been scoring a lot of runs. He went to bunt and did not draw the bat back at strike two.
John McNamara said after the game last night that the thing that has impressed him most is that the club just hasn't given up. They were down 6-1 yesterday.
Yeah.
They could have packed up the bags and headed home, but they kept coming back.
Nobody out here. Ball one.
Interesting, some comments made last night after the ball game where the Yankees were hammered for 12 runs. And there were some comments among the pitchers that had to do with the catching situation with the Yankees.
Nope, Jody Reed throws him out, one away.
And that centers on Matt Noakes, who was behind the plate last night.
Yeah.
And the question of who should be behind the plate. And Stump Merrill, the manager there, and Billy Connors got the troops together today and said, look, you guys just play, basically, to clean it up a little bit. And that's one of the ups and downs you go through in a season, but you have to nip something like that in the bud.
You've got to. You hate to see ball players bickering, and even veterans like Hawkins and LaPointe, who naturally feel slighted and hurt. But there's a purpose behind what Stump is trying to do. He knows what they can do, but they did want to pitch a little more.
And there have been indications that Dave LaPointe almost did wind up in Boston this past week. There were talks going on between the Yankees and the Red Sox. When Clemens went down, if there ever was a team that needed to do what the Blue Jays did to bring Bud Black in, the Red Sox were it.
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, a lot of Red Sox players disappointed that they didn't do anything.
Roger Clemens will go on Sunday. We asked Bill Fisher before the game if they'll put a pitch count on him or only let him go 5. He said nope. He'll go as long as he thinks he can go, and then we'll load up the bullpen. There's the Rocket next to his pitching coach, Bill Fisher. Two competitors right there.
Oh, boy.
The old Marine.
Fisher's as tough as they make them. 3 balls and 1 strike on Randy Velarde.
Is that good enough for a Cy Young Award?
Oh, I tell you. He's got a little work, though, that Welch, if he wins tonight, wins his 25th, I think. High fly to right field. Moving back Bernansky, and backing up on the warning track makes the catch. 2 out.
Tough decision. You know, you've got Welch, you got Stewart, you got Eckersley from that Oakland staff. You got Thigpen, who set the save record this year, and you have Clemens. If Clemens had been healthy and continued to pitch this month, as you look at Joe Morgan, the Red Sox manager, it would not have been inconceivable for one of those other pitchers to win the Cy Young Award and Clemens to win the MVP.
I mean, you look at his earned run average, so much better than Welch's, even better than Stewart's.
They used to say spawn and Sane and pray for rain, but this was Clemens and Boddicker and, you know, a bunch of guys named Joe who've just done a tremendous job.
Espinosa hit back to the box his first time up. It's really not that cold, but probably like me, low blood pressure. That is part of my fan club there. Back to the box again, twice now. And that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 5. Red Sox nothing and the Yankees nothing.
We're here on Easter Island to introduce the monumental new Isuzu Stylus. How does it compare to the Toyota Camry?
On Channel 11.
So, like, you sense, like, psychic energy coming from us?
Back at Yankee Stadium, no score, Yankees and the Red Sox. We go to the top of the sixth, and crowd of around 30,000 tonight. Colleen, I love you. Will you marry me? Is that Lenny? Or is that Denny's he's going to? We'll update you later if there's a further development on that, Scooter.
A lot of times it's happened. A lot of weddings have been held that way. Carlos Quintana has struck out and flied to center field. No score. We're in the top of the sixth.
You were married when you were in the Navy.
Yes. How'd you know that?
Down in Virginia.
Norfolk, Virginia. Yes, I got married in a church, John Moore.
You had some buddies down there that day, too, huh?
Oh, forget it.
That's one of the great stories.
But they're as bad as Seaver. You talk about agitated. Seaver got me. I was getting on him. I was saying something about him. He was standing right in back of me, and I didn't know it before.
He's everywhere.
I know it. Well, he's got strong. There he is. See? He's got strong hands and arms. And a big butt. Yes. Swing and a miss. Boy, Cary's pitching some kind of ball game here. He's given up 3 hits. Walked 1, struck out 4. A ball and 2 strikes. And that's upstairs out of play.
We'll keep you updated on the scores as the evening progresses in the American and National League pennant races. You know, the Mets lost already today. Pirates are playing tonight. Toronto Blue Jays are trailing. And the update, by the way, on St. Louis and Pittsburgh. They're now in the 6th. Pittsburgh nothing, St. Louis nothing. 6th inning.
Montreal's got a chance. They're losing to Philadelphia 2-0 in the 5th. Ooh, another strikeout for Chuck Cary, his 5th of the ball game.
Billy Connors has been telling Chuck Cary that to be effective, you got to use that screwball on a regular basis, not just once or twice, and he sure has tonight.
Strike 1. Wade Boggs 0 for 2. And he's got to get a hit this time and the next time he comes to the plate to keep alive his chances for getting 200 hits. Ball of 1-1-1.
He's been hitting over 300, well over 300 for the second half of the year, and that came in tonight with a 310 average. But the last 56 games he's been here in the number 3 position instead of leading off.
And in left field, Mullins can't get it. Oh, that's going to be a triple for Boggs. And if he could run, it would be an inside-the-park homer, but he gets one of his hits. Mullins dove for it, and that's a rookie mistake right there.
Now, two views of this. First of all, Wade Boggs has really become almost exclusively a left half of the field hitter. He very seldom pulls the ball anymore, especially now that he's going for 200 hits again. And here, it's exactly where he goes. Mullins playing somewhat deeper than you would expect. In a scoreless ball game, you take the single and protect against the extra base hit. He makes the rookie mistake, makes the diving play on it, and by the time he catches up to it, Boggs rolls into third with a triple with 1 out here in the top of the 6th.
And the Yankees have to bring the infield in. Ellis Burks fly deep to center and walk. And that's gone. That's a 2-run job there. Holy cow, that happened so quickly. A gift triple, and look at Cary looking at sack at Boggs, and Burks really creamed that one. A 2-run home run, and the Red Sox lead 2-0.
Now, as Burks has had his year against the Yankees this year, he had, of course, earlier this year had a 2-home-run inning. He has had some moments this year where he has been on fire, and before the game today, he was saying, you know, we've had our funk the last couple of weeks, but we feel we're ready to start hitting and turn it on. And he makes good on this one, Scooter, for Burks, home run number 20.
Yep. All right, here's Greenwell, who's 2 for 2, and he fouls it off, strike 1. Unbelievable. Cary was rolling along. I don't know whether the triple upset him the way Mullins played it, but after he gave up the homer to Burks, he just walked in and stared at Boggs. Bounce to the third, and Velarde throws him out. 2 away.
When Cary gets in trouble, it's high in the strike zone, and here's an example of it. Watch Burks go after this one. It's up by the waist.
Yep, above the belt, that's for sure.
No doubt about it, Scooter.
Nope. Home run here, home way in Fenway, home run in just about any park. Boy, that was it. Here's Evans, struck out and lined out. Our old buddy Seymour Sidewalk wants us to say hello to Annette Chiodo from Linden, New Jersey. Don't give up hope. The Yanks will be back.
By the way, Scooter,
yes,
one of your friends, police officer Tim Green, is retiring after 23 years with the New York Police Department, 15 of those years at Yankee Stadium.
Holy cow.
Congratulations on his retirement from all of us here and the Yankee Stadium detail.
All right, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because Tom Dunn, who used to be out here for almost 40 years on the Yankee Stadium detail, he hasn't been up. He'd been a little under the weather, had his gallbladder out, but he's feeling better now. We want to wish Tom a lot of luck. He was one of the great ones outside all those years. 3 balls and a strike. 2 men are out, and the Red Sox lead 2-0. Strike 2. 3-2. Got him. Struck him out for the second time, but they pick up 2 runs. And at the end of 5.5, the Red Sox 2 and the Yankees nothing.
Broadway, the Battery, the Bronx. New York runs on electricity, and the people who keep the electricity running are the people of Con Edison. People who make splices that last for 40 years and who sign every splice. So when the lights come up on Broadway, it isn't just the stars who have to shine. Con Edison, our people are our energy.
The last 9 years, Escorts outsold Toyota Corolla and Honda Civic by over 1.3 million units. Why? Quality and value. Now, for $91, the new Escort's completely redesigned and better than ever. It's got 5-passenger seating, independent suspension, and a livelier engine. Plus, until September 26th, get low 4.8 financing for 48 months on any new 91 Escort. The 91 Escort, all the quality and value that's made Ford #1.
See your Ford dealer and see for yourself.
See for yourself.
Service with which you're already quite familiar, just not at 35,000 feet. Person-to-person service, non-stop to Los Angeles, 3 times a day. At Delta, we love to fly and it shows.
Tonight's trivia question, both Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco on the verge of hitting 40 home runs this season. Can you name the last teammates to hit 40 round trippers in the same season?
Manlin Maris. No, is that it?
Yep. Yastrzemski and Petrocelli.
Oh.
Last Yankees to do it, Mantle and Maris, but Yastrzemski and Petrocelli, 40 and 40 in 1969, Scooter.
Oh, that's right. Rico, yeah, that's right. That was Rico's best year hitting home runs.
Rizzuto and Coleman never hit 40, though.
Between us lifetime. All right, Roberto Kelly, a single, stolen the base and flying to right. Don't forget, starting time for tomorrow's Yankees-Red Sox game has been changed to 12:15. Don't want you to be late. Is tomorrow Fan Appreciation Day?
Sounds right.
How did I know that? Bounce to the third, but Wade Boggs throws him out, one away. Well, happy birthday to Kitty Uliani of Jersey City. This is from Eddie Lucas. And a happy 85th birthday to George Lunny of Rumson, New Jersey. That's Eddie's uncle. Now, you're wondering why I've got this little piece of paper here. It says George Carlin, Working Trash. And it's going to be on the Fox Network November 26th. I know I shouldn't mention that because we're on WPIX, but I have a voiceover role in that. You'll be hearing my voice in the background. George Carlin is a big Yankee fan. He had to hit that ball right in the middle of my story. But they got him 2 men out.
What kind of a role will this be, Scooter?
Just me doing a ball game, and George Carlin has a little wager on it.
Does this rival your appearance with Meatloaf?
No. Nothing will ever rival, embarrass me as much as that. Nothing. But anyway, I think I've caught up. Oh, strike one to Mattingly. You better show it now. There's 2 out, you know. All right, here's Eddie Lucas, the blanket. He's throwing the first ball out. This is out in California. Eddie Lucas. We have talked many times about Eddie. He's a blind young man, and Jeannie Mel arranged for him to go out to California. And Herb Miller is the one with the beard, not Eddie Lucas. Eddie Lucas was the clean-shaven young man. Tell you, nobody knows more baseball than Eddie Lucas. Fouled back Mattingly, who is 1 for 2. Eddie Lucas really likes Don Mattingly. Who doesn't? But Mattingly's.
That ball get off his catch of Leyritz, and Pena ill-advised. He sees no one around the plate because Cary was a little late in getting there, but Pena was only about 2 steps around the bag at third when he decided to go on. Once Leyritz got it, tough out to make with one of the best hitters in the game in the on-deck circle. You almost have to be assured of standing up to score on that play.
That was not a good play.
No.
Kevin Maas, the batter. Still 2-0 in favor of the Red Sox. Maas, a deep drive to right, but playable. Not all that deep. Big swing, but
see how
not
the
a
big
well-hit
swing.
ball.
We talk about that oftentimes, and certainly it's easy to.
Number 13 for Mike Greenwell, and the RBI is his 68th. The Red Sox lead 3-0. And David Gilpatrick of Framingham is another winner in the TV 38 Pepsi home run sweepstakes.
Mike Greenwell maybe doing a little guessing here. Says, I'm going to look at something, pop those hips open. Cary just had a
and he's eligible for postseason play, trying to get out of trouble.
On his own. Before the game, it's Bic metal. After the game, it's Bic metal. The Bic metal shaver, because even good old boys want to look good. It's the choice of this right-hander. the Bic Metal Shaver. It makes me look good every time out. How's that one?
Introducing Bases Loaded 2 second season. This is the Major League action you've been waiting for. So authentic, you have to manage your teams based on your players' condition. So real, it puts you right in the game. Oh, you're out!
He was out.
Bases Loaded 2 second season for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And now, take the excitement on the road with Bases Loaded for the Nintendo Game Boy from Jalico. Live action that never ends.
Well, Gwen, school's gonna be a drag. What do you mean? Come on, Tony. Jameson's rules.
Rule number 4, no gum chewing. Rule number 7, no funny business behind my back. And rule number 12, absolutely, positively, no hitting. Now, that's not going to be a problem for you, is it, Mr. Gwen?
Feel the thrill again. Join us at the ballpark.
The preceding message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
And of the Boston Red Sox PR department. Mattingly steps in. At 252 with 5 home runs and 35 runs batted in. He is now gone 224 at-bats without a home run. That's a career-long streak for him. He remains in a tie for 13th place on the Yankee home run list. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's been wedged at 169 home runs. Back in the lineup at first for the first time since July tonight. Early to tell, but we knew that Mattingly wasn't 100% coming back, Tom, but he certainly is not swinging the bat with as much authority as he normally did. Bounced just fouled on the first base line.
I think he'd be very happy just making contact, getting in, making sure that things don't hurt. Those are the biggest things about Don Mattingly. When he got the single in the 4th inning, the thing that I worry about, when he got the single in the 4th inning, and Kevin Maas did a line shot to Jody Reed at second base, and Don had to turn and force himself back into first, jam the foot down into the bag. Those are the things,
a quick move.
That quick move and that quick stop that could hurt it right away. And it didn't look as if he had any problems with that. That was a good sign. But those are the things that make, well, I think it makes the entire Yankee organization worry.
Line drive, left field, foul. This is a readjusted swing by Don Mattingly. First, he's got 2 strikes in protecting the plate. Secondly, that stance is open.
That's a 2-strike contact swing. Sees the ball away from him. That pitch up and away is the shortest swing that left-hander has to make.
Anderson with the 2-2. To short. Rivera to Quintana, and there's 2 away. By the way, Kevin Romine has come in right field in defensive purposes here in the 9th inning. There's Kevin. I think you hit the nail on the head, though, Tom. What Don Mattingly wants to do is just get back in and spray the ball around and feel comfortable at the plate again, so he won't leave when the season ends without having tested it at least. Maas 0 for 3, 2 line drives and a strikeout.
Boy, that's a nasty slider right there. That is nasty. That looks like it's heading for the Boston dugout. Comes back over that outside corner of that plate.
Yankees will be back here against the Red Sox tomorrow. Kevin Maas fan looking for a round tripper from number 24. There have been some massacres both ways. Back in the 70s, the original Boston massacre when the Yankees went up to Fenway, and then here this year Red Sox went up to Fenway the other way around. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Update final now. Pittsburgh 1, St. Louis nothing. So the Pirates win. The Mets lose in the National League East today. Montreal and Philadelphia 4-4 now in the ninth. Here's the 2-2.
It was easy, as the long, hard season quite often takes its toll.